Hey guys, I have a bunny bonding update for you. We are trying something new and I'm gonna take you along with us, so let's go. I got this new playpen on Amazon and it's gonna be our new bonding space. Now this playpen is 3 feet by 3 feet when fully expanded, and I'm not gonna start that large. I cut it in half as best as possible, and I have this cardboard in here separating about half of it. I'm just gonna give them this tiny space right here to start out with, and we'll do that for 2 or 3 days, depending on how well they do. And I will just slowly move this cardboard back, or at least that's the plan. All right, I just put them in their pen. It is 4 o'clock on Wednesday right now. They did get into a scuffle already. Don't know if it's just the stress from being in a new place or what. Right, we are 1 hour in and they seem to have settled in nicely. It's dinner time. Here's our little nighttime update. We are going to bed. They're doing great. They ate their dinner together and did really well. They've been cuddling a little bit. I put some chews and then you can see the toilet paper rolls in there. And we will be sleeping on the couch to keep an eye on them tonight. So hoping everything goes well. Good night. Good morning. They survived the night. They did get into some scuffles, mainly when Sully was trying to mount Denzel, and Denzel just wasn't having any of it. So they didn't really cuddle last night. They were kind of on opposite sides, just avoiding each other like they are right now, but it could have gone worse. Their pen is really dirty, so let's change it out and get them some breakfast. All right, looking much better. I gave them some pellets, so they're searching around for those. Now they have their vegetables. I'm doing some work on my computer right beside their pen so I can keep an eye on them. I heard a really loud noise, so I jumped up and Denzel had flopped right on Sully. Now he's gonna get bathed. We've got another flop. This is flop number 3 in like less than an hour. Here's our 24-hour update to our 24/7 bonding. Does that make sense? Last night, they got into a few little tussles. It mainly had to do with Sully trying to mount Denzel, and Denzel just wasn't having any part of it. We have been bonding for a while. Sully has been mounting Denzel, and Denzel does not care whatsoever. But now all of a sudden, he's kind of not okay with it. None of the little scuffles turned into anything too huge or out of control, but they did wake us up a few times. We've been sleeping over here on the couch so we can hear anything. They have been cuddling and sleeping a little bit together, like side by side today, so that's an improvement over yesterday. But we'll see how the rest of the day goes. We're only 24 hours in. We are in our living room. So Denzel is free roam. He has access to the whole house. So he does run around the living room. However, I cut off his access and I have cleaned everything in vinegar. Hopefully there is none of his scent left, because I want this to be a completely neutral area, obviously. As great as it was for us to start in the bathtub, and it worked really well for us, you can only expand so much. You know, I can't make the bathtub any bigger. Before I can actually say that they're bonded, I know they need to have a neutral space that's a little bit bigger than the tub. So I knew we were eventually going to have to graduate and get out of the tub and go to a different neutral area. So that is where this pen came into play. That is our 24-hour update, so stay tuned for the rest. The bunnies are eating dinner. They've been napping most of the afternoon. And nothing too much to report right now. Here's our day 2 update. Denzel and Sully have been bonding now for 48 hours. So let me give you a quick rundown. Yesterday, I told you guys that there was a little bit of tension between them when Sully was trying to mount Denzel, and Denzel just kind of wasn't having it. Well, last night, Denzel actually started mounting Sully, and he's never done that before. So I was really surprised to see that. Sully really didn't care too much, so they've kind of switched roles. Sully's been grooming Denzel. Denzel hasn't groomed Sully, no surprise there. Oh, and we did add this little fence right here because Leo kept trying to boop them, so this way he can't reach them. That's about it for day 2. I'll check back in tomorrow. This is our day 3 update. As you can see, they're kind of just chilling. Denzel's eating his hay and Sully is all stretched out. They really do seem to be making some progress so far, so I hope it continues. Last night, they didn't wake us up nearly as much as they had the other 2 nights, so that was very nice. They still haven't had any fights, so I am so impressed. They're doing great. Denzel has been mounting Sully off and on, and sometimes it gets to be a little too much for Sully. And then they might start chasing each other a little bit, kind of Sully just trying to get away. It hasn't escalated to a fight or anything so far. Good morning. We're going on day 4 with Denzel and Sully bonding. I just gave them their breakfast. I kind of spread it all out and they're just finding everything now and eating. Last night was probably the best night that they've had. They didn't get into any sort of disagreements and they actually did really well. They've been cuddling a little bit more. They're still not cuddle bunnies by any means, but they have been cuddling more. Well, Denzel still, as far as I know, hasn't groomed Sully at all. Since it's been a while since they've showed any signs of aggression, I expanded their area by just a little bit, maybe an inch or 2. I pushed this piece of cardboard back just to give them a little bit more space. So we'll see how it goes and hopefully keep expanding. Today's day 5 of Denzel and Sully's 24/7 bonding, and they've really made some improvements. They haven't showed any signs of aggression in several days now, so I've expanded their pen twice. Going into this, starting on Wednesday, Sully would normally mount Denzel. Denzel would get upset about it, and then they'd get into a fight. Well, now the tables have turned a little bit because now Denzel has been the one mounting Sully, and Sully doesn't care. He's just been letting it happen. As long as they keep doing what they're doing each day, I plan on just very slowly expanding. Very slowly want to give them more and more space until they have this entire pen and we can go from there. They've been cuddling off and on. They really haven't been cuddling a whole bunch, but that's okay. I'd say Sully grooms Denzel quite often, and then yesterday for the first time since we started this, I saw Denzel grooming Sully. Now it didn't last too long, but it did happen, so that's a big deal because Denzel normally doesn't do that kind of thing. They seem to be very relaxed. They've been laying in the pen, whether they're beside each other or even on opposite sides. They have their backs turned to one another, which means they trust each other. They have their feet stretched out and just completely relaxed, sometimes with their eyes closed, so you can tell that they're comfortable with each other. I've been really busy the past couple days, so I haven't been too good about recording little clips throughout the day. But I hope this makes up for it and you have a good idea of what's going on. I know there's a lot of conflicting information out there about bunnies and especially about bunny bonding. It's just how it looks for us and this is what we're doing. So far it's working. I don't know if it's gonna work out in the end. We'll see. But that's why I'm documenting this, even for my own purposes of being able to go back and look and maybe see what we did right or see what we did wrong, and hopefully provide some insight to anybody else who may need it or just be interested. That's all for day 5. I will check back in with you guys later. We just gave Denzel and Sully their dinner. They're eating really well beside each other. When I first started feeding them together, Denzel was kind of panicked, like he wanted to make sure he would get all the food, and he kind of made it seem like he didn't want Sully to have any, but now they're eating really well beside each other. They definitely seem a lot more comfortable eating together than they did a few days ago. It's day 6 of bunny bonding. They've both been sleeping for a while. They're not beside each other, but they both look really relaxed still. I expanded their pen a little bit. I'm not sure if you can tell from the camera. I know if I open this, they're probably gonna get up. Hey, you guys. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can tell from this angle, but I have expanded their pen again today. Still no aggressive behavior, so I keep expanding their pen. They're almost all the way to the end, so they almost have the entire space. I do have these pee pads in here right now that I've been changing out every few hours. I think as long as they keep doing well, tomorrow I'm gonna add a litter box so that hopefully they can use that and it won't be quite as messy in here, and I can at least like clean out the litter box better than, you know, picking up the entire pee pad and having to change it out every so often. We'll see how they do with the litter box. I hope they don't get territorial or anything, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Hey, Denzel. You're a good bunny. Hey, Sully. You guys are such good bunnies. I'm so proud of you. All right, we're signing off for right now. We'll be back. Hey guys, we have made it a full week of 24/7 bunny bonding, and I can't believe it. I wasn't sure if we were gonna make it this far. I didn't even know if they were gonna be able to make it an entire 24 hours together. They've come such a long way since last Wednesday. This morning, I finally expanded their space to the entire pen. I know they're ready to get out of there, and I am also ready for them to get out of this pen and be done with bonding. I've been sleeping on the couch every single night, and it's been exhausting, needless to say, but hopefully it's been worth it. They've made a bunch of progress, and they're doing a lot better than they were when we started. They've actually started cuddling a lot today. Almost every time I've looked at them in the pen, they've been side by side. I've lost count of how many times Denzel's flopped today, but it's been a lot. Now, yesterday I had mentioned adding a litter box into the pen so that it'd be a little bit easier for me to clean, but also so I could see if they were able to share the litter box and not be territorial over it. I decided against adding the litter box today. I think I'm gonna add it tomorrow, just because since they got the extra space today, I wanna make sure that they have plenty of time to adjust and just be familiar with the entire pen, and then I'll add the litter box. I think Denzel's about to flop. I don't know if you could see that, but Denzel just flopped on Sully, and that's what he's been doing all day long. Hopefully tomorrow I'll add the litter box inside the pen, and then we'll see how they do with it. This kind of goes without saying, but they haven't shown any signs of aggression in days now. I don't even remember the last time that they were aggressive or even chased each other. Both stopped mounting each other, even trying to mount each other. I'm hoping they can get out of this pen soon, because I do hate having them confined to such a small space for so long. So I don't want it to go on any longer than it needs to, but I am still hesitant that once they get out of the pen, something may happen and one of them may go after the other one. If you remember me saying near the beginning of this video, we are in the living room right now. Because Denzel's free roam, I did block off his access to the living room prior to putting their bonding pen in here. However, he is very familiar with this space. He's very familiar with the entire house. He's been free roam for a very long time. Once he gets out of the pen, I'm just worried that he's going to recognize something that's his and just feel territorial. I have cleaned everything in here in so much vinegar, it's disgusting. I moved some of the things that couldn't be cleaned with vinegar upstairs so that when they do get out of the bonding pen, they won't have any access to that right away. But everything else that's down here, the floors, the walls, the couch, literally everything has been soaked in vinegar. So I hope that gets rid of all of Denzel's scent. If you've watched any of our other videos, you've probably seen this one area rug that's in our living room, because we spend a lot of time in here and we film a lot in here. So I'm also worried that this area rug that is in the living room that Denzel has spent so much time on, that even though I've cleaned it and just soaked it in vinegar, it's still gonna have his scent on it. So today I actually ordered a new rug. That may have been unnecessary, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I just want to make sure that Denzel doesn't recognize a thing with his scent on it when he gets out of that pen. My goal is to get them out of this playpen as soon as possible, since they've been able to spend an entire week and they've done so well. However, I do want to see how they do with sharing the litter box once I add it tomorrow. That's all for week 1, and hopefully we're done really soon. It's day 7 of bunny bonding. They finally have the whole playpen. I took out that cardboard piece that was blocking part of the pen off in the beginning, and now they just have the whole space. They have been cuddling so much today. Today's day 8 of bunny bonding. I just added their litter box. It's pretty big for this pen, but this is the litter box that they were both sharing prior to being in the pen, so I just wanted to use the same one. So this litter box should have both of their scents on it since they've shared it before, but I did go ahead and clean it in vinegar just in case. I'll do another update by the end of the day and just let you guys know how they do with sharing the litter box, and we'll see you then. It's the end of day 8 and Denzel and Sully are literally stuffed next to each other. I don't even know if Sully can breathe. Oh my goodness. So they've had the litter box almost all day today and they haven't had a single problem with it. It's day 9 of 24/7 bonding and I added their litter box yesterday. As you can see, they've had no issues with that. They're sharing it right now. They've had this entire playpen for several days now, so I think it's time to expand. Of course, there's been no aggression. I'm still a little hesitant to let them have the entire living room to free roam. So I've brought this X pen downstairs and I'm gonna open up their playpen and let them have the X pen as well and see how that goes. Our new rug for the living room came in today too, so I'm happy about that, so I don't have to worry about Denzel possibly smelling the old rug and feeling a type of way about it. I'm gonna sprinkle some pellets out here and go ahead and let them out. They haven't even realized that their door's open. I just moved the water bowl out of the way of the little door. Denzel's gonna eat all of these pellets. Sully's a little bit more cautious. Hopefully everything goes well with the extra space. I'll check back in later. It's the morning of day 10 and overall they did really well with the extra space, but last night they did have one little disagreement. So they ended up chasing each other from the litter box out to the bigger pen. Other than that, they're doing really well. Good morning, we're going on day 11 and I'm happy to report that they haven't had any disagreements since the one I told you guys about yesterday. They've been sharing all of this space really, really well. They've actually been cuddling a lot. We'll see how today goes, but I'm feeling really good about them right now. It's now day 13. I didn't record anything for day 12 because nothing exciting happened, which is what I was hoping for. They progressed as much as they could in the bonding pen, so I knew it was time to get them out of there. So today I opened up the X pen and they now have access to the living room and the kitchen, which is a ton of space compared to what they did have. They've spent a lot of time exploring everything, and to my surprise, they're still getting along really well. I was just afraid that Denzel wasn't going to accept Sully outside of the bonding pen, but it seems as though after 13 days of 24/7 bonding, they've finally established a bond. In the beginning, it seemed as though both were very dominant bunnies and neither were going to give in, but they've actually been able to work things out between themselves and now they're friends. Right now, it is still a fragile bond, so I'm going to slowly give them access to the rest of the house as long as they keep doing well. It's kind of crazy to think about where they were just 2 weeks ago and see where they are right now, but I'm so happy for them and I'm glad I was able to document a lot of it because the progression of their bond is just amazing to see.